This is Jason Christoff recording on, I think it is March 25th. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about psychology. We're going to get away from the fear-based COVID-19 lockdowns. And the talk today sort of has something to do with the lockdowns in regards to psychology. I was talking to a friend this morning. He was saying that his friend who owns sort of a combat studio is closed because all sort of health-based activities are closed. Like, heaven forbid the population get healthy. But you know about the system if you know anything about what I talk about. So beyond that, the gentleman is at home, and the owner of the combat studio is at home, and all he's doing is, drinking alcohol and smoking joints. That's all he's really doing. How this goes is very similar. Like, what is the psychology involved in that situation? And it's very important to educate on that psychology so you become better understanding of your own behavior and better understanding of the documented, not studies or research, but how humans work. And there's so much, literature on this topic that is all kept from the public. It's very, very interesting, to say the least. Like, let's take a situation that's very similar to this situation, and you'll see why after I describe it. Take a person who quits smoking. So a lot of people who quit smoking will say, I don't want to quit smoking because I gain weight. Now, that's the tip of the iceberg, because, taking nicotine out of your diet never makes anybody gain weight. So what's really going on there? What's really happening in that case is the person goes from smoking over to another sort of self-abuse based or self-attack with, say, food or alcohol. And that's why they gain weight. It has nothing to do with the smoking or quitting the, cessation of smoking. It has to do with human psychology. The human psychology is that you will always match internal emotional vibrations with your outside environment or things or services or even people. What happens with the smoker who quits smoking is that the nicotine was never the addiction. The addiction was self-abuse and self-attack. So when they take away their smoking, what has to happen is the real addiction starts to rear its ugly head, and that addiction is self-attack, self-abuse, self-loathing, a lack of self-maintenance, no self-love, and they simply switch modalities of self-attack. So they go to kicking the crap out of them with nicotine to kicking the crap out of themselves with, say, sugar or fast food or alcohol. And that's why they're gaining the weight. Now, in order to quit the addiction, you have to remove the internal vibration that's equal to the self-abuse that you're going to find in the physical world. So what we call that is what's called vibrational matching or energy matching. If we feel lousy on the inside, the way our subconscious minds work is that it seeks familiarity. Like, it will seek what's familiar in the outside world, because what's familiar registers as safe and secure. So if you are feeling lousy or depressed or miserable or disempowered on the inside, because it's so constant in your system, your body actually seeks reinforcement of it or external symbols to match how you're feeling on the inside. So, of course, if you take away the nicotine, that's just one modality to make you feel miserable and disempowered. There's many more, and the subconscious mind knows that. And that's why it seeks the alcohol or the sugar or the junk food that puts on the weight, because you're basically going out and you're going to seek products, people, and services and other things that match your internal vibration. So if you ever want to stop pursuing bad relationships or bad food or a bad job, or what's called stinking thinking. Well, that's kind of on the inside. But if you want to avoid doing all that, seeking all that on your outside environment, you literally only have to change your internal emotional vibration, so for a long enough period where it becomes familiar. And then your subconscious brain will only want familiar emotions, familiar people, familiar things, and it will only make you seek betterment outside yourself instead of misery. And that's sort of harks back to what this gentleman who owns the combat studio is doing. He most likely owns the combat studio because fighting and aggressiveness and adversarial play is a vibrational match for his internal environment. And then when you take away the sort of aggressive attack on his outside world, so his combat studio is shut down, he retreats home to again mimic and emulate and mirror in his physical reality how he's feeling on the inside, which is some sort of internal battle that he doesn't understand. So now he's fighting with himself. Now instead of punching the bag, he's punching himself. Instead of kicking an opponent or kicking a kick pad, he's kicking the crap out of himself with the alcohol and the junk food and the marijuana. And this is very, very important for people to understand regarding why they do what they do. Like, why do you think you pick bad people to date? Or why do you think you seek jobs that never make you happy? Or you eat food that makes you depressed and miserable? And then, in my field, the self-sabotage coaching field, most people will say, I don't even know why I eat it. And it's my job as a self-sabotage coach to explain you're eating it because you're so familiar with the emotions the bad food produces, because it's exactly how you're feeling on the inside for your entire life. And there's only one way to change your external pursuits, is to change the symbols and the emotional vibrations that are playing inside your own body. You kind of have a cinema screen in your subconscious mind, and you're the one throwing the emotions or the symbols on it internally. So if you're always thinking poorly or watching negative movies or watching or listening to negative media releases, the body will say it's a media-based, it's a negative-based village I live in. Everybody here seems to be negative. And your body at that point, or your subconscious mind, makes this decision in a millisecond that, the most dangerous role you can play in a depressed tribe is to be happy. The most dangerous role to play in an out-of-shape tribe is to be healthy. The most dangerous role to play in a dumb tribe is to be smart. So what sort of emotional vibrational waves are you washing over your subconscious mind to really let it know what village you're living in and what's the safest role to play? And your subconscious mind will judge your conversations, it judges your TV screen, it judges the radio, and it will always seek out sort of fortification of the general vibration or the general concepts of living that are most frequent in the society. And if you listen to the radio today about the latest charity event that's, where you eat donuts and pop and chips to raise money for cancer, then you come home and watch Transformers 4, where it's all violent, and then you go to the local news station where corrupt government officials are scaring the crap out of you, then that's the village your subconscious mind thinks you live in, which is not sort of a good your subconscious mind will synthesize and put your whole life experience into a couple key words, and then it goes out to try and mimic those key words so that you fit in. So if all you're giving your subconscious brain is impulses and impacts and symbols and emotions, that you live in sort of a shitty tribe, its job is to protect you. And the only way, this is going to sound funny, but the only way to protect you in a shitty tribe is to make you shitty. And that's what the subconscious mind ends up doing, because it's a survival-based pursuit machine. It is not a happiness-based pursuit machine. And that's why you got to be really careful how you think, what you see, and what you let in your mind. And then if you're kind of, if you find yourself pursuing, bad companions or unhealthy food or stinking thinking or fast food or ice cream, like, I want you to know that you're only doing that because you're letting in garbage inside your system to play your internal emotional piano, and then your body just goes out and frequency matches with other crappy things out in the external environment. And this is how it works. So if you want to, stop drinking or stop coffee or stop doing drugs or stop going to doctors that make you sick, or open your own business because you don't like the job you're at, all you really have to do is start allowing positive impacts and positive messages and positive emotional impulses to wash over you on a rate, like a frequency, where your subconscious mind, which can't think, by the way, it just sort of judges where you are, you're going to trick your subconscious mind to say, your subconscious mind's supposed to say, hey, I think we moved from the shitty tribe, and somehow she must have switched villages. She went down another path, or he went down another path. And now in this new village, everybody's like happy, and everybody's smart, and everybody's willing to express themselves, and everybody's thin and puts a lot of time into the organic food. I don't see anybody eating junk food. I don't see anybody being negative. And my job as the subconscious mind is to protect you. So what I'm going to do to protect you is I'm going to make sure you fit in. And I'm going to make you healthy to fit in, and I'm going to make you wealthy to fit in. I'm going to make you smart. I'm even going to lose some of that spare tire for you by changing the metabolism. This is what we have to do to protect you. This is how the subconscious brain works, folks. It's always there to protect you. And it wants to know what village you're in. So what village are you in? Because the only way the subconscious judges what village you're in is through what comes in through your eyes and ears. So what that really means is turn off the TV, because there's nothing but shitty village vibrations coming out of that thing. Turn off your radio, where all they do is pump in the fake laughter as they, make you dumb and entertain you as you ride to the job that you don't really want to be going to. And just start putting some positive stuff inside your brain to trick your subconscious mind into believing you changed villages, and it kind of does the rest. According to some of the world's best hypnotherapists, it takes about 30 days to trick it that you made some kind of village migration. Then it forgets about the old village. So I hope that helps today. It was purely a psychology-based talk to make your life better. And I really hope that helps people understand where their behavior comes from. Of course, as a self-sabotage coach myself, and as someone who also qualifies other people to be self-sabotage coaches, we have to be experts in looking at someone's behavior as they destroy themselves. And of course, they don't understand why they're destroying themselves. But we as self-sabotage coaches not only have to be aware of why they're doing it, even though they don't want to be. This is how the subconscious brain works. I mean, like I said, it's a survival-based mechanism, not a happiness-based mechanism. And then not only do we have to know this, we have to have the ability to explain it to our clients, and then give them the solution so they can change. And if you're looking for some really good hypnosis that you play at night or maybe when you get up in the morning, because that's when your subconscious mind is most easily reprogrammed and tricked into thinking you made some kind of tribal migration to a new village, go find Marissa Peer, Marisa Peer, and she has some hypnosis recordings, MP3, on one of her sites, and you can find various recordings on getting healthy or getting wealthy or being more confident or loving yourself or even getting pregnant or attracting your best mate. And the subconscious mind can be tricked into many, many weird things by thought alone and by words alone and by images alone. So I hope that helped you today. This is Jason Christoff signing off. Thank you for listening.